All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. We've got a lot to cover in today's crypto market update, so let's get right into it. We're going to start with Bitcoin, then we're going to move over onto Ethereum, DAG, XLM, and then we'll finish up with some XRP. So remember, this isn't financial advice, just my personal chart views. Always do your own research and trade safe. So let's get into it here. Bitcoin, looking over here, first up, on the 4-hour chart and the 2-hour charts, we're still showing signs of a pump into 120,790 to 121,149 range. Once we hit that zone, I'm looking for a pullback into the 116,728 to 115,278 area. So short term, we've still got upside to hit that liquidity, but be ready for that retracement afterwards. Next up on the list will be Ethereum. On the daily candle, we've got a sell marker that was marked off right and back here, but we did wind up pushing on up. Looking at this being possibly our top, we're in a spot where price really needs to pull back. If we move over here to the 4-hour chart, it also gave us a sell signal back here. Wanted to push them just a little bit more. Down to our 1-hour chart, it's showing that we are flipping right in here, which is a possibility that we could pull ourselves back down to our yellow line right here, which is around 39.95. On shorter time frames, we're looking at the 30-minute and the 15-minute. There may be a small little push the upside before another pullback level down to the 42, 41 area. We look on down here to our 1 minute and our 5 minute. You'll see our confirmations and stuff right here. Pink line that we're going to be coming down to hit on the 5 minute and the 1 minute. That's going to show our downsides right there. Be looking forward to that, and that should reset us for another move to the upside. Next up is going to be moving on over to DAG. I was asked to look into this one because they had never seen this, the moves that it's making right now. I was looking into this, and it looks like we've actually gotten probably our bottom area at. So right here, looks like we had a low of 0.335 is the low, and that looks like it could have been our bottom area on the daily there. Yes, we could pull back down a little bit on the daily, but when we switch over here and we look at the 4-hour chart, 4 hours already telling us, hey, we got to buy. It's telling us we got a trigger right there, which was our low that I was just calling out there. Pulling us back up, we have touched our pink line here on the 4-hour chart, 2-hour chart. We have cleared all three of those as well with that strong candle. We're going to pull back down because what it's done is it's created this liquidity gap right in here. So that'll have to get picked up. And as you can see, we're already starting to do that. But yes, we are going to push up. Next upwards goal we're looking at is that 0.041035. So again, right here would be my stop loss area if I was in on anything. Don't look for us to go any lower than that 0.0335. Moving on down, let's go to the 30-minute time frame. We have cleared all three of these. We still have some for the upside, so we're still going to be continuing up, but we are going to pull down, clearing these liquidity gaps that have been built right here. Some nice, big, beautiful ones. We have the triggers that says that we're still going to be going up, so you got to clear that liquidity, push on up. 15-minute time frame on the DAG. We're going to come back down here like it's showing to clear these. We got to come back down, clear these lines, and you can kind of see right now it's showing a 0.03578 all the way down to the 0.35. That's what we're looking at on DAG. We're going to pull back down just a little bit, so you may be able to pick up some more around this price range before we start back to the upside to hitting our 0.41 area, which could then let us come on up and pick up some more. But we'll try to keep an eye on that, and I'll try to keep you updated on all that. Next up is going to be XLM. We are seeing signs of a pullback on XLM. We're watching a 38 cent, 38.22, and possibly a 0.3143 on the deeper side. So if we move over here on the 4-hour chart, 4-hour chart may give us a small push towards the 45 cent area before it pulls back. So right here, just so you know what I'm seeing here, we have our orange, red, and our green. Green's above here. We're going to wind up pulling us down. It's wanting to cross under the red, which is going to give us the ability to pull back, do another pump up. And that's where I'm seeing that $45, 45 cent range. Now, when it pulls back, what am I looking at for the pullback is probably about 40 cent. You're looking at about the yellow line is what we're looking at, 4-hour here. Move over to the 2-hour time frame. You can see that the lines are already flipped, which means that it's pulled up here. What we're going to wind up doing is it's going to pull down. What is it doing when it's pulling it down? It's actually clearing out this liquidity gap right over here. If we move on down to our 1-hour time frame, it is almost on the downside over here. So we still have to come down a little bit more. We're looking at possibly coming all the way down to that 42, 46 range to be able to help set this thing into motion for triggering a buy order. Looking at our 30-minute time frame, it's already showing a pump to the upside, which we got to pull back down. So that right there is going to come back down. We're going to trigger another one through there because not down enough on that 1 hour, 15-minute time frame. Going to be doing the same thing. We've cleared all 3 of our lines. And if you was in my Discord, you would already know because I have a breakdown of what all the lines are, you know, how to read them and how to call the trades and stuff. So if you learn anything about this, one thing is that it starts at the 1-minute time frame. Once that 1-minute pink line is hit, we've come through all those. The next one's going to be our 5-minute. As you can see, cleared our 5 minutes. Then you're going to wind up with a 15-minute, and so on. So that's some of the ways that you're able to see where we're going and what we're going to be doing. On the higher time frames, they don't hit as often, but you can see the 1, 5, 15 stuff. They'll wind up hitting possibly multiple times during the day. So that can help you kind of see what we're going to be doing, where we're going, and so on. And a lot of times, if all of them's been hit, but most of them was all down and you went down, but you got one that's still like up here on one of the time frames, that's going to be the last one that's going to get hit. That's the pull pushes it back up. That is XLM. What was it that we was looking at for XLM is 43 cent, possibly 42 cent that we're going to test again before we wind up, you know, doing any larger moves the upside. That's just my opinion. Now what everybody's been waiting for is XRP. What is it doing? Where we're at? Where we going? As you can see here on the daily, we still have our liquidity gap here that has not been filled completely, allowing us to have some more movement to the downside here. So currently at $3.15 at the time of this recording, $3.11, 39 was what my goal was. I mean, $3.11 was when we hit that, but where I had my line at, so I was looking at from there down to our red line currently, which is 306. Now, when you take and you start breaking it down, you start looking at it. Go down to the 4-hour chart, you can see we've already flipped here. We had a little bit of liquidity gap, but we've already picked that up. But I still expect us to pull up just a little before we do pull back down. They could push it on down. We are in a sell territory, so we do want to see that come down some more. So it's a possibility we may come down to around $3. That's our yellow line. That would be the next area, area to go on our 4-hour chart. On the 2-hour chart, we're almost into the oversold area. So, looking at the 2 hour chart, we could possibly come down and touch the blue line here, which is at 302. So, like I said, we're still trying to stay above that $3 range, not going under it. On the 1 hour chart, we've already pulled down into that oversold, but we haven't come down enough for it to trigger my algorithm to say that, hey, it's time to pump back up some more. But as you can tell, we've already hit all 3 of our time frames on, or correction, all 3 of our lines here, the pink, yellow, and the blue on the 1 hour. The 30 minutes says that we are coming down to that 307. So that's where I'm saying that, yes, we're going to be seeing a 307 on XRP. We've seen it on the upper time frame where we might be going. Lower time frame is confirming it. So it's always great using the multiple time frame stuff. Where we're going to get when we push up a little bit, I've been looking at 320 being the area that we push up to before we possibly pull down. Now, we may pull down, hit that stuff, and then come back and clear these and start on up to the upside. But we still have a little ways to go, but we are starting to prep across the time frames for a flip to the upside to start seeing XRP starting to bump up again. So bull run's not over. We've just been gathering up, prepping, and getting ready for that next leg up. So that's the rundown for Bitcoin, Ethereum, DAG, XLM, and XRP. Right now, most of the majors are showing short-term setups that could give us quick moves before a retracement. So watch those levels closely. If you found this update helpful, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. For my early signals and custom indicators, the link to my Discord is in the description, along with affiliate links to the platforms and tools that I personally use. Also, just real quickly, just want to throw out there that I will be updating my indicators this week and dropping them out there in the Discord. So you'll be able to have these indicators along with a built-in dashboard. It'll help kind of read out what it says. Stay safe. We'll see you in the next one.